He's got to take notes.
All right, welcome back, guys. Man, Karnvir, your lighting looks so good.
Isn't it just the best?
Dude, it looks so good.
It's funny because it's so simple. It's called 3-point lighting.
Yeah,
Pretty much what we're doing is we're getting a bit of backlight with a little bit of color on one side. It's pretty much hot and cold. So we got
okay.
cold on one side, warm on one side. I've got two other lights underneath, so it builds a bit of a kind of shadow.
Right,
I'm sorry, it builds a bit of a light from the back. Uh,
right.
I'm still messing with it. Let's see. Maybe a
I,
couple more
I
shots.
just bought a gimbal. We used it on the weekend. I don't know if you remember,
That was good.
but it has a light. Let me actually see if the light makes a difference just for fun.
It does. It
Does it
does.
help?
It does help.
Is it better?
It's so you know what it is? It's a little bit too sharp. There, it's a little bit softer now. It's a little bit better, yeah.
That better?
Make it a little bit brighter. Let's see what
Okay,
happens.
let's see.
So what's happening right now is from one side you got the harsh light coming out from outside. It's
Yeah,
creating
I can
angles
make it
for
colder
shadows.
too. I can change the temperature of it.
Of it. So go on and off. Turn on and off. It's off right now.
It's off right now.
It's off. Turn on. See how much of a world of difference.
It's such a big difference.
So pretty much all I've done is because I've got multiple lights set up, it softens the shadows.
Yeah.
Then the shadows show up where they need to, right?
People are gonna hate me because now it's on a crane, like it's on an actual crane camera, so it's not meant for like a studio light. So now
I, would,
after seeing that, I know everyone that's watching this is gonna be like, "Damn, you should have just left the light on."
I say you should just leave the light on because
I
now you just look weird to me. Like half your face is completely like Two-Face. You look like Two-Face
I,
to me.
I might need the cranium. I might need it. I might need it.
I'm gonna be distracted all. No,
I
all
wonder if I could just plug it in and just have the light on.
you can.
I don't know.
Have you ever done it with your phone where you just take
Oh man, I didn't think of that. I could just I could.
just
You just look like you know, like the scary movies.
yeah.
That's
So pretty
that's
much
that's the look I that's the look you have right now.
so you usually what happens is if you want to show somebody that's like evil, it's
Yeah.
pretty the lighting is gonna go in from different areas, right? If you're showing like despair, scaredness, this and the other, the shadows are starting to come down versus
Right.
up. And then usually superheroes are the ones that get the lighting from different angles to show their silhouette.
Right. That makes sense. Anyways, that was a long montage about how your lighting's really good here.
We're gonna work on yours. We're gonna
I
work on
know,
it.
I know. I'll buy a light eventually. All right, guys. So I guess welcome back to our second live-ish because we record this and then I upload it later, but it is kind of a live anyways.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good feedback from the first one saying people really enjoyed it. They said they could connect with us more. And we had comments. Like we haven't had comments before. So actually, no, we've had a couple
That's
comments.
actually interesting because the thought is like, why would they want to listen to us about these topics? Why do our opinions matter? But it's really the thought process that might go behind it, right?
Yeah, dude, I think about that all the time. Anytime I make a video, I'm like, why does it matter? And I
Yeah,
got people just like being entertained. And
yeah.
I don't have a beard, so I honestly I feel a little bit naked.
So it's funny. I saw your video yesterday about your experience with Guru Nanak Free Kitchen, and
Yeah.
you came in completely clean shape. I thought it was actually an old video, and you started talking. I'm like, you literally just came like within 24 hours. You're a completely different
Yeah,
man.
I went home and then I was like, I haven't seen my face in a minute. And you know what got me thinking? There was a guy at the Guru Nanak Free Kitchen. I don't know if you remember Harpal.
Yep,
He has a beard normally.
yep.
And so one thing he said to me was like, he's like, I shaved one day because I couldn't remember what I looked like. I was like, I don't remember what I look like. I was like, in my mind,
Yeah.
I woke up and I was like, let's get rid of it.
You know what you should do is now is because you go completely clean again, show the
Yeah.
process of going clean, and then just time lapse it over 30 days.
You mean it growing?
Yeah,
I could, yeah. It's funny because I shaved it right towards the end of November, right?
yeah.
So
It doesn't have to
a
be
lot of people are
daily.
like, "Oh, you got rid of it. November, it's still November." I was like, I wasn't even paying attention to that.
Yeah, no, we're already giving to causes when we need to
Right.
give causes. We don't need a month dedicated to that. But the
Exactly.
message is good. The message is always good. That's what we're
Yeah.
looking at.
That's important. That's the most important thing.
Cool.
Sweet. So we have some topics that we want to talk about on this week's live recording.
Yep.
Do you want to start with the first one?
I want to start with Tesla.
Me too.
And I want to start with Teslas because you've been showing me these videos of people going crazy on Twitter, online, just lining up just to view the truck. And this truck in person actually looks so cool. It's cool to see frame of reference because the last time I seen it was when Elon Musk threw a cannonball at the window and it completely shattered.
Yeah, the metal ball.
Yeah, and that actually just generated more popularity for it. And now you see the frame of reference of people walking around this truck and you see the actual size and masses of it. And I'm just
Right.
thinking, this thing looks like a tank. I actually just want it.
It looks so cool, dude. It's funny. I just want to touch on something you said. The metal ball that he threw. You know how you said it like generated more popularity for the car.
Yep.
For whatever reason, I can't remember exactly what it was, but Steve Jobs, I think it was an internet failure. So Steve Jobs was doing an announcement for one of the Apple products.
Yeah.
And I think the internet was really slow. So he had everyone in the room shut off their Wi-Fi, their MiFi stations or whatever they called them.
Yeah.
But that moment is like a really important moment for Apple because not really important, but it's more like it's remembered because of that.
Yeah.
And so the metal ball is just like the same thing. It's, they were trying to say like this glass won't break, boom, it breaks, which is not a good thing because they're trying to demo the product.
Yep.
But that ended up being good advertising for the company. Like everyone heard about this failure on stage. So it kind of goes back to like the whole, controversy or like it helps, you know what I mean? Like any publicity is good publicity, right?
Somehow failure of trying to show how good the product is, it actually makes more viral marketing. It was this thing with Starbucks how people misspell names all the time. And then what happens? You take a picture, you throw it on IG or Facebook, and then people laugh about it. And then you have these top 10 lists, top 25 lists. I said this is what my name was, and this is what came out.
Yeah. And then there's a free market. You have the cup and literally all these whatever Instagram stories and Snapchats and all this. And then you have like the Starbucks logo in the background on the cup everywhere. So yeah, it's like free marketing, man. It's crazy.
And it's not even just about the free marketing portion. It's actually getting people in tune with what they might not really want to go get. Mm-hmm. I've had this where I'll wake up in the morning and I'll see a billboard. They'll show Tim Hortons or McDonald's and they'll show like a nice muffin breaking in half, the raspberry or blueberry compote coming out and the steam is coming out. I'm like, I want a muffin now. Yeah. I don't know why I want a muffin, but I'm like, I'm hungry for a muffin.
The steam does it, right? The little
water it's so
vapor,
cartoony. Like
the water vapor and stuff. Yeah, it's pure cartoons. That it's probably some sort of CGI. But yeah, going back to the Cybertruck, I think it's so interesting because I spend a decent amount of time on Twitter. That's where I get all my news. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like prior to this launch, it was like the world was very divided. Like literally, I would comment something about the Cybertruck, and half the responses would be like, "It's ugly, it looks terrible, no one's gonna want it," and then the other half are like, "Wow, it's so revolutionary, it's innovation, it's exemplary for a truck." Yeah. So it was so divisive. And I think that debate's been settled because now when you go on Twitter and you see these lineups, it's reminiscent of iPhone when they first came out. You know how there was lineups like down the block?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Like some of these videos I'm watching, it's like lineups around the store in a mall, around the block, and people are just lined up to see it. They can't even buy it yet.
Nope, nowhere near touching it. And you know what? There's such a long wait list for the people that put in $100.
So long.
You got to overcome that to actually be one of the people in line to go and buy this truck.
So people are lining up just to see it. And then they're being told like, hey, you're probably not going to get this for the next maybe 1.5 to 3 years, which is what the expected timelines are for these.
Here, I got a thought. How much of a resale value do you think is going to happen of these trucks when people start buying them? Do you think they'll be able to 3x their money just off the truck?
It's so funny you say that because Tesla issued I don't know if it was like an announcement, but like an actual letter they sent out saying you're not allowed to resell this vehicle. But I think they're trying to make it so that it doesn't drive up the cost. Mm-hmm. But in a free marketplace, you have to let that happen. Like in
Yeah,
order
of course.
to
Like Jordan
maintain,
sneakers.
like
You're
if
not
you
gonna
buy
shop.
something, someone should be able to tell you like you can't sell the thing that you bought. I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
But I didn't go into detail of whether or not they changed that, but that was the first thing was like you cannot resell this car.
yeah,
But for sure there's gonna be another marketplace for it.
yeah.
100%. Dude, if in Dubai or Saudi Arabia they pay millions of dollars for license plate numbers, someone's gonna pay 3-4 times for to be a early adopter of the Cybertruck.
They'll definitely find a way. Let's go into the technology of the truck.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to revolutionize everything?
Dude, I could talk about this for hours. A cool feature is obviously the steel body.
Yep.
The fact that it was bulletproof. I don't know if you can Google this while I'm chatting, but Elon was saying it was a Tommy gun, I think it was. He unloaded a round of bullets from a Tommy gun, and
Yep.
it leaves the mark on the steel, but it never penetrates.
A
Now, any
Tommy
other
gun.
car,
Tommy gun. That just sounds hilarious.
I think it's called the Tommy gun. I don't know.
Yeah.
But any other car, like those bullets are going through. But
It's
for the
literally a Tommy
Cybertruck,
gun. Tesla shot a Tommy gun at Cybertruck, and this was exactly a month ago.
yeah. So and that gun, you could see the marks. It leaves like proper indents. And then Joe Rogan did an episode with Elon, and he shot an arrow at it, like a bow and arrow, like a crossbow, I think it was. And
It actually pierced.
it sparked. Huh?
Did it pierce the metal?
No, it sparked like a little lit up, and then nothing. It was just like a little scratch on the Cybertruck. But again, that in any other truck, any other car, it's going through. Like it's cutting through the metal. So again, that's a nice to have feature. Obviously, the windshield's nice. It's got the one big windshield wiper, which people are always going crazy about. But I think the best part about any Tesla vehicle is the full self-driving. Which it just frees up time. Like, if you're driving a lot, that's an hour, 2 hours every day for like a good portion of the population. If the car does that for you, you've now opened up another hour, 2 hours of your time in your life. So
yeah, Tesla's actually done a good job with collecting all the data from all the hundreds of thousands of millions of cars and I don't know if they've gone to 1 billion miles yet around the globe, but they have all that data, which other companies just do not have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're so far ahead. You have a question for you. Do you like the Cybertruck?
I like the Cybertruck. Actually, in the beginning, I didn't, because I was just like, oh, this kind of reminds me of when people started going crazy for the Hummer.
Right.
And the more I look at it and the more I think about the technology aspect of it, I'm thinking, what else is going to touch this truck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so different.
There's other vehicles out there. There's other companies that are doing it, but they're just doing it for the purpose of tax credits and not losing their licenses for, I guess, manufacturing vehicles because they have to go a certain amount of green efficiency.
Right. That's the other thing with Tesla in this in the EV business is that not every, I wouldn't say every, but most other car manufacturers, legacy car manufacturers, they're losing money to make electric vehicles.
Yep.
I can't remember what the exact numbers are, but Ford's losing money when they sell an electric vehicle. I think Lucid is like 150,000 plus that they lose per car.
Yes. I think it was Lucid Air, and what's the other one? It starts with a P, I think.
Polestar.
Yeah, I think it was Lucid or Polestar. They're losing $300,000 per vehicle that's being
I think that's Lucid.
That's insane.
So just a crazy, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Ford, the Lightning models, I'm sure they're losing money there too.
Like, have to. I don't see any other way around it.
And then Tesla's the only one that's able to do it profitably. And they're the only ones that can have enough demand to scale, and
they're built from the ground up, right? Their entire manufacturing plants are built for that purpose, which these other like dinosaur companies, I should say.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're just not, they're not up to par.
Yo, what's cool, and I'll share this and we can go into the next thing after, but what's really cool about the way Tesla works, I don't know where I was reading this, but someone, I don't know if they asked Elon, but they kind of commented on it. They said something about like, oh, Tesla, once they figured out their manufacturing, they can just copy and paste, right? They could just take the idea and then start one in another city, in another state, in another country.
Yep.
And then Elon, what a nutcase, man. That guy's something else. He said, why would we copy and paste if we could just refine the process and make it better than it was the first one. It's
Yeah.
like so true. But again, the simple mind's like, yeah, just this idea works, copy and paste. But that's exactly how legacy dies, right? Because
Yes.
they don't look at ways to improve. But he's like, oh, why would we, if I can make this process 10% better in the next factory, why not make those changes? The
Yeah.
average person doesn't think like that. And I was just so blown away. It's such a little thing too, right? I mean, little to us, he probably spends all day. It's a big deal, but he's like, yeah, why would I? He's like, copy and pasting is the worst thing you could do. It's like,
Yeah. It's called R&D, man. Rip off and duplicate.
this guy, man, this guy's something else, man.
And you know
Whatever
what?
he's doing, man. I know they raised some money for Neuralink. I think they raised some money for Starlink, the satellites, and
Yeah, they've done that too.
wherever man, any company that goes public that has Elon involved, I'm throwing money in it.
You have to. There's a book called The One with Peter Thiel wrote that book.
Yeah.
And they talked about the genius of Elon and the handful of like Peter Thiel and a handful of people that were talking about vertical integration versus horizontal. He's like, why would I ever want to be horizontal like Amazon and Alibaba when he's like, I could just be vertical and make it. So now all these other companies are going electric because of him. Amazon has thrown their money into it. Apple has thrown into their money into it. And it's actually all these tech companies and the money companies that are making billions of dollars and trillions of dollars versus the actual car manufacturing companies.
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking, if the technology companies are doing it, then they're way ahead of the game.
100%. And again, just the thoughts that these companies are having are just so different, man. I can't there's so many. Like I could sit here talk for an hour, but even full self-driving, I think it was Elon that tweeted this. He said cars are a depreciating asset or a liability, right? That's what a liability is. And he's like, but full self-driving cars will actually become an asset because now when you go somewhere, your car doesn't have to sit there, do nothing. It's going to drive around. And because it can drive itself, it's going to go and do ride share, things like Uber. It's going to take passengers places. So now your car is working for you and making you money.
Yeah. So now we don't have to pay $20 an hour for parking in Vancouver.
You save money on parking. The car is going to earn you money because it's dropping people off and picking people up.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, just man.
I'm
like a fan. I'm like a geeky fanboy right now.
These are the thoughts that you got to think about of what the technology can actually do for you. Because most people, I would want to make money off my car. I don't know if I would ever want to off of one of them, but it'd be cool to have a fleet of cars and just let them roll around all day.
Well, that's the thing. If now the car's making you money, you could once you make the money, you could roll it into another car, then that just makes you more and more money.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Exponential growth, right?
Anyways, man, this is the dude. This is why I think you should look at Bitcoin. We talked about this last time.
I know. I still have to watch the video
because if you play the technology out long enough time horizons, it changes the fabric of society, and it's hard for us to understand that unless you actually think about it. But Jeff Booth, which I've been trying to egg you on getting on the show, is he's the guy that asked that question and literally learns about this technology.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
cool.
Cool. Yeah, man. I want one.
What do you want to talk about?
I want a Cybertruck.
I think we should all get one. How much are they? What's the retail? Do you have an idea?
I think the actual launch and delivery date is the 30th. So I don't think it's announced until then. But my guess is between 80 and 100. Probably not 80. If they did 80, that'd be insane, but between 80 and 100.
So it's like your average luxury car.
I would say it would be competitive with the truck category, I think.
Yes, it would be.
Has to be.
Yeah.
They're trying to convince that's the target, right? That's the target group that they're going after.
Yeah. They can talking about shopping and price points. I want to talk about Black Friday.
Yeah. Let's talk about Black Friday.
Inflation is up. Interest rates are up. Black Friday somehow has inched their way by posting up, I think 7 to 11% more than the previous year for sales, which last year was all-time lows for everything.
Right, dude. This year's been the craziest year because all early on, Q1, Q2, all we heard was inflation, high interest rates, recession, slow economy. But literally, we get a holiday like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and spending is up year over year as inflation comes down.
And even Cyber Monday is at, I think, a 12.5 or $13 billion just from people sitting at home clicking away.
It's insane.
Right? So this just actually gets me to think, did people actually just hold on to all their money in the beginning of the year because it was so expensive? And now when all the rates have been slashed by 50 to 70%, they're going out just paying because it's so much cheaper, and they're trying to, I guess, release their frustration of not doing anything all year long and just spending it all now.
Spending it. Yeah. I mean, it could be, right? Like it's hard to know, like macro econ so complex. So it's hard to know where all this money is coming from. But you know,
it has to be pent up. It has to be stored somewhere.
Yeah. So again, there's two sides of it, and probably a combination of both. But consumers are smarter than they used to be.
Yeah.
Like now, it's like everything's telegraphed, right? With the internet and the way information spread. So when the pandemic hit, everyone started saving because it was telegraphed. Like, we're shutting down, save your money. So everyone went into conservation mode. So that money was pent up and built over time, and savings were growing. And then, you know, COVID ended, or they declared that it was over, and people went out and started spending money. One other thing, I don't know if I sent it to you, but like, I think it was this past week, America hit a record for the most amount of flights taken in one day. And they're like, you see this like little digital chart where there's like planes everywhere. Canada's like nothing, but like America's just covered. It's insane.
And this was for I guess American Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, insane.
You know what? There's actually really cheap flights right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think they're, you know, flights are hitting some level of like disinflation to maybe even some sort of deflation, right? Like the prices of flying around is coming down quite a bit.
You know, also,
so people are spending, man. People have money.
Yeah. I want to touch on the flight thing. I don't think there's an inverse effect of spending and ticket prices for airlines coming down. I think what's happening is they'll slightly reduce the price of a ticket, but they'll start doing add-ons, insurance,
like your suitcase and
baggage carry-on.
The flare model.
Yeah, and now they started charging for food. They'll charge you $15 for a packet of cheese or peanuts.
Yo, this is why I love Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. So that's the flight map. That's USA.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yesterday, this is I think I took a screenshot like a couple days ago, but it said it was the busiest day ever at airports in the US, with the TSA reporting 2,884,000 people screened.
That's
a lot of people traveling.
That's a lot of planes in there.
So yeah, man, are we in a recession? Is the economy going to slow? Are these high interest rates enough to stop inflation? Or I don't know, such a confusing time.
It's confusing to me because I'm like, how are people spending all this money and yet they're complaining about house prices and gas prices?
I don't know. Everyone I talked to is like, people are still spending money. I talked to a mortgage broker this morning for like 20, 30 minutes, and he was saying, yeah, man, he's like, it just got busy out of nowhere.
Yep.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what to think anymore. I'm just like, all right, just got to hedge my investments a little bit, but just let it ride, you know?
Yeah. Do you think these Black Friday sales are polluting the world a little bit more? Because all this money is being spent on pretty much fast fashion nowadays. Nothing's of quality.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know the longevity of a lot of these pieces of clothing, because a lot of it is synthetic fibers. It's not natural fibers.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't really be good for our skins. It's not good for the planet.
Mm-hmm.
How sustainable do you think that's going to be?
I think it's not sustainable, right? Like, there's a lot of documentaries on this. I know there's like entire industries being founded on doing the opposite of fast fashion, which is making high quality materials that last a long time.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think it's a problem. Like, again, every solution creates a problem. But we always think it's companies, right? We want to blame Zara and H&M for fast fashion, but it's like, no, we're the problems, because we're the ones buying this stuff. And every few months we want to discard clothing and just go buy another one.
Yes.
But we got to change how we spend money. We got to look for quality. We got to do business with companies that sell quality products that last a long time.
And it's because one article of clothing is just cheap enough to wear it once, to be able to just discard it the following day.
Right.
I see that a lot.
And even just like materials, right? Like fast fashion has a tendency to use lower quality materials that bleed into your skin. Like the dyes bleed into your skin. They get absorbed, right? One of my good friends, South Asian Strong. This is like I guess it's a subtle shout out to him, but he's really big on this. Like he's all about health. So fitness, of course, weights, all that. But then even like clothing material, like he's so particular.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, that's polyester, or I won't buy it. I'm like, why? He's like, the dyes will bleed into your, or they'll get absorbed by your skin, and it's just not healthy for you. So
I'm the same way. It's like microfibers just falling off or rubbing off, and it's going actually like it's being absorbed into your skin. As soon as we start warming up or start sweating, our pores open up, and those micro kind of synthetic fibers actually just go into our bodies. And the only way to remove them is to take a cold shower. Because I had a friend that worked in the fiberglass industry, and he would have to take a cold shower at the end of every single shift, because if he took it warm, then the fiberglass would just get sucked into his body. It would cause rashes, skin irritation, right?
Right.
So, and we're doing this with clothing. Like we
with everything, right? I mean, our constant pursuit for cheaper prices and lower price goods and lower quality, like we're settling for lower quality.
Yep.
But the problem is what we give up is, long-term health benefits of quality products that you put on your skin, whether it's like makeup or lotions or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, part of that is our sentiment, and I think the best way to kind of challenge that is to be advocates for what we believe to be true, right? If we just start shopping quality products for ourselves, we'll encourage other people to do that, and I think that's the best way forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is your wheelhouse because fashion's your thing.
I'm all about style, man. Fashion, I care less about. I'd rather spend money on high ticket items.
Yeah, well, you happen to do both. Like you have fashion, but you also buy quality stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Because I know a lot of the stuff's gonna last longer, right?
Right.
Especially jackets and jeans.
Dude, you told me you were gonna be my stylist. You haven't come and checked out my closet yet.
Oh, you know what? That's right. I did visit your house like once or twice, and we never went through it.
We should have.
Hey, it would have been good for Black Friday with the amount of sales that were happening.
I was tempted. I was like, I don't need anything. I think on Twitter, same day, someone's like, what should I buy today? I'm like, if you're asking, you probably don't need anything. Save your money.
You really don't need anything. Yeah.
Save your money. I did buy, actually, it's funny because I did buy a crane.
The gimbal?
The gimbal. And I made a network out of it too.
Very good investment. We were able to use it for our last pod.
Yeah. Yo, you want to talk about that a little bit? The Green Alex Free Kitchen?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I got introduced to it from you.
Yep. And then Sunday we went volunteering, right? Super early in the morning. It's a shared kitchen. It's a kitchen at the Gurdwara that's been grown a little bit bigger in size. But literally volunteers come before they start their day at work, before they get their day started. They help prepare the food, cook it, package it all up, and then load it up on the truck, and then they just go on their merry way for work for 9 a.m. And then there's a second crew which will just bring the truck downtown, and there'll be family and other volunteer members, like a second group of people to help. And then we just we distribute the food. And once the food is completely done, we don't leave until all the food is done, including the last drop of ja. Once it's completely distributed, everybody's had their fill. Everything gets loaded up. We clean the area that we were in, leave it better than what it was, take it back to the Gurdwara, wash the dishes, and we see each other the following weekend.
That's it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And what really surprised me was how many people that were new to Canada or the city, because there's some people from Toronto that moved to BC.
Yep.
And they didn't have like much of a network here. They didn't know many people, and like the Gurdwara is where they found refuge, right? Like that's where they kind of met people that made them feel part of the community and helping out. The other thing that I really appreciated, because we were there and we had the honor of recording the event and the charity program.
Oh, yeah.
But what I really enjoyed was that they were telling us what shots to take. They're like, make sure you get this part, make sure you get this part. Yeah. Like when we're loading, they're like, because you remember they loaded stuff on the truck.
Yeah.
And then my camera was charging, so we never got to record that.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was, but he came back and he's like, no, you have to get that part. He's like, that part's important. Yep. So they took everything out of the truck.
Yep.
Got me to get my camera, started it up, and then loaded everything back on the truck just so I could record that piece.
It's actually the excitement. It's actually the excitement of showcasing something. Because I don't think
Right.
anybody ever comes in and says, "Hey, we want to make like a mini documentary, or we want to showcase your guys' like specialty."
Right.
And all of a sudden now you have these two guys come in. Like I volunteered, like they know who I am, so I volunteer there sometimes. And now
Right.
I'm like, we want to record, and like, great, like take us here, take us there, and move us around. And I
Right.
was like, no, this is
No,
so
it
good.
was, dude, it was so mind blowing for me because I went in there thinking like, because, as I wouldn't say I'm like overly religious, but like I grew up in a religious household. So when I went there, I thought they were going to be very like closed off, like, why are you recording? But they were like, no, come, like, get this, get this. Like I would, and
Yeah,
they're like, they're normal people. Like we're like talking about whatever. And like, it didn't matter.
yeah, yeah. And you
But
know,
in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to be like super proper, like hands together, like make sure I don't. They're like, no, you be you and like help
yeah,
showcase what we're doing here. And that was cool.
yeah. And you know what? To add to your point, when we were downtown, we met a couple of people that were outside the kind of the religion faction that we're with Sikhi. There was
Mm-hmm.
somebody that was Persian. There was somebody that was
Mm-hmm.
like a North American Canadian kind of Christian guy. And
Mm-hmm.
then there was somebody else that was from that was Iranian.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting. And our questions to them, well, my questions to them was, how did you get connected with us? Why don't you have something of your own, or maybe something community work? A lot of them said that we didn't even know where to go. One guy said, I literally was sitting inside of a bus and I saw these guys in turbans. They were serving food. And the next time I came by just to see what they were doing, and I noticed that they were giving out free food. And
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to get involved, but because he went to these different places that were like, these are the restrictions, or this is kind of the parameters you have to fit before you can
Mm-hmm.
actually help the community. He was
Mm-hmm.
thinking like, that's insane. Like you need to follow some sort of criteria to help people. And
Right.
they came here, he said they were just so welcome and they were so happy to know that another person is willing to actually contribute.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
No, I love that. I talked to him a little bit too, and he was saying that what he say? He's like, I always knew homelessness was a problem here in Vancouver, and for the longest time I thought I should do something about it and just never had the opportunity or didn't know how. And he's like, one day I was in the bus, I saw this stand and just came and started talking to them.
Yeah.
So
You know,
that
the
was
cool
cool.
thing is, yesterday, being Monday, the following day after we did serving,
Mm-hmm.
we we had a radiothon, a telethon
Right.
for raising money for the new kitchen that's being built downtown. And they actually hit their big ultimate goal
No
of
way.
$2 million.
Wow.
The goal was $2 million to build it up within a couple of years, like 5 years maybe. And we
Wow.
were like Guru Nanak Free Kitchen, all the volunteers, all the efforts, with God's blessing and grace, they were able to raise exactly 2 million and like some $1,000
Wow.
uh, at the stroke of
Insane.
like 8 p.m. last night.
Insane. Insane. Congrats,
Yeah,
man. That's big. That's
yeah,
big. Now that I've like been around you a lot and I've seen the kind of the Sikh community, is that what I call it? Sikh
that's the
community?
community. Yeah,
Sikh community. Dude, like people give a lot. I
there's
didn't
so
know
much.
that. I was so been so sheltered from this, but yeah, they give so much. It's crazy.
Like I guess you have to be exposed to it
Yeah, I
within
just
different
wasn't exposed to it.
and depending on type of friends and workplaces that you're in, you might have some sort of initiative.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at different numbers from different charts of how much money is being given and donated. And I think
Mm-hmm.
the number dropped by like this morning, because I just got a newsletter in the email. I think it dropped by like a couple percent, and people
Mm-hmm.
are giving about 1.7% a year,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in our community, what's it's not expected. Like nobody should be forced or expected to give something that they necessarily might not have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's called Dasvand. Dasvand is like 10% of your earnings,
Right.
right? So our community really is heavily invested in just giving back and finding causes that they're going to be connected to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good to see. It was actually a
So
really
overall, was
fun event.
good. You would do it again?
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
for
And
sure. Yeah, I just
there's
have
a
to find the time for it. But yeah, I kind of want to make time for this.
yeah, there's a
Instead of
couple.
finding time, I got to make time.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's
I
all it
realized
is.
I can easily just go on Saturday, Sunday morning, do the cooking between 6 and 8, and
Yeah.
then just get my day started.
Yeah, totally.
'Cause
And
we
you
always
meet
say,
cool people. Like the other thing is like you meet cool people too. Like you're
oh
talking
man,
to like cool people.
yeah,
They
different
do things. They're in the community.
backgrounds.
They're involved.
One guy took like literally rides a bike from Richmond to New
Yeah.
Westminster every day, like I don't know, like 30, like 20 kilometers, something. It was funny.
Yeah,
I was
yeah, I
like,
heard that.
"Hey,"
I heard them talking about that. I was like, that's insane. But
I
yeah,
was like, it's cold.
it's fun to be involved. Yeah, it's fun to be involved, and no, it makes you like care about your community a little bit differently too, right? You have a
I
different
actually,
lens.
yeah.
You want to
My
do good work. You want to spread good messages and contribute where you can. So
the realization
yeah.
that I got, because you and me, we were talking about how cold it was, and this was midday. And my thought was when I got up in the morning and my car was completely frozen, how
Hmm.
are people surviving on the streets?
Yeah, it's
That's
tough.
that's a really sad reality. And
Yeah,
just a little bit of effort makes a huge difference.
yeah, yeah. It is. It's yeah. I couldn't imagine. Like I was cold, standing there giving out food as the heat from the food is warming me up, and I'm complaining about it being cold. And but yeah, the people that are out there, I had moments where I thought maybe I should record this, but then I didn't want to take away from the work that we were doing and our guys were doing. But
Yeah.
that's a different documentary. I think the homelessness problem in Vancouver is quite sad, actually.
Those are policies, and that's lawmakers and that's government.
Hmm.
They're the ones that need to be held accountable or responsible. Maybe
Hmm.
our system, maybe our own parenting styles have failed us. The school system failed us, but
Hmm.
there's some sort of gap that needs to be bridged.
Hundred
How
percent.
it's gonna get done? I think it's just gonna come through conversation, right? And then
I think
also,
just
yeah,
seeing that, I would hate to see anyone get into that position. Like I know, like well, I guess I don't know who this is gonna go to, but times do get tough, and like just remember, like there's people that want to help and are willing to help.
yep.
And I think the Sikh community, the Gurdwara, like those are always places that you can go if you're struggling, and whether it's mental health or food, you're
Yeah.
always welcome in our community. So
Yeah. Fun fact, the Golden Temple in Amritsar, it's the largest free food kitchen in the world. They serve
wow,
something like 100,000 plus meals a day,
wow,
every single day. And they've been doing that for generations since our gurus laid the first foundation of the Gurdwara.
wow,
And now,
yeah,
put this into perspective, every single Gurdwara has a langar system. So you can always just go
right,
there to get food, free food.
right, right. Especially this winter, like as it gets cold, I really hope people have food and warmth. So
Yeah, cool. I want to change topics because since we're talking about food, something interesting. Let's talk about McDonald's.
let's talk about Mickey D's. Yo, you are,
McDonald's.
but just before we go into McDonald's, you're a Segway king. You're crushing
Yeah,
Segways.
no, because it was like we're talking about food,
No,
and I
no,
know like
I'm
we're
celebrating
going
it.
from
I'm celebrating. I
we're,
mean,
we're
it's
talking we're talking about like homeless people and homelessness, and now
yeah,
it's interesting to see if uh Ray Kroc goes and turns this small kind of burger
joint.
shack
Yeah.
into this multinational like gazillion dollar real estate and franchising licensing
This
branding.
empire,
I
this
don't even know,
empire.
man. Like
Yeah, it
it's
went from a food business to a real estate slash food business. It's
and he
like
was just
massive
selling
empire.
milkshakes. He was selling milkshake
Or yeah,
blenders. That's all he was doing.
right. Yeah, it's always, man, entrepreneurship. The people that really do figure it out, it's always such a blessing because one man's vision, one person's vision is, the impact it has on the world is phenomenal, phenomenal.
So the reason why I want to talk about McDonald's because the founder of McDonald's in Canada, George Cohan, is dead at
Mm,
86 years old.
86. Rest in peace, George.
Yeah, so he was the one that brought McDonald's into Canada
Mm,
before anybody even touched it.
mm. Wow, what a creation, eh?
It's
What
it's
a creation.
amazing. You go from this Ray Kroc and his group of lawyers and company owners and managers, whatever you want to call them. They go from opening up these locations in all across America, and then you have somebody like George that says, "Hey, give me a piece of this. Let's do some sort of franchising agreement up in Canada."
Right.
Then now they're catering to a Canadian market.
Hmm.
And then how it expands and bubbles out is they've got locations on pretty much every single country in the world, right? And because we talked about India, I want to talk about the Maharaja burger. They cater to the demographic. They obviously
Right.
can't be cutting up cows and serving up beef because that's like in your religion, being a Hindu,
Right. Right.
it's pretty sacred. You can't be doing cows, but
Right.
they've found ways to replace that one product, which is very popular in America. But they just found like potato and paneer to just replace it, and they've given
Right.
it these like these Indian names.
Right. They're so good at that, like branding. Like they're like, we, you know, most companies go into a country and they're like, oh, we'll just keep everything the same as we always do.
Yep.
But these guys know like India is not the same clientele, and you know, I guess they do their research and figure out, okay, what can we sell here? And then yeah, we have the McAloo Tikki burger and
Yep.
the Maharaja burger. So you know, McDonald's is their profits crazy. Like they're still profitable. The fact that they're still in business this long and expanding still.
Yep.
Like what a company, right? What a business. What do you think of when you think of McDonald's?
Man, so many things come to mind. The Golden Arches, you got Ronald
Yeah.
McDonald. I see overconsumption for lack of quality. I haven't eaten at McDonald's in a long time. I do like their apple pies, right?
Right.
I do like trying apple pies at different fast food chains.
Right.
Got the apple turnover, a little bit crispier shell with the nice soft filling, and it's got cinnamon and sugar on top. Then you go to McDonald's, which is a pie. It's like nice and soft with sugar and icing on there. So, oh man, I'm just thinking
nostalgia.
about
You're getting nostalgia. I can see the nostalgia.
I'm like selling myself on this something that I just don't want to eat. It's so bad for me.
Yeah, I think about being a college student. I remember the McDouble and the juniors, and
yeah,
I remember all that. I think you know, from what I read and remember from Ray Kroc and McDonald's journey was the system, right? They had the system that was really different. It was like a streamlined kitchen system where like one person gets the patties, puts sauce, the next person puts the burger, and then it's done, right? They had the streamlined, whatever they called it.
Yeah.
That's really how they grew. They were able to deliver burgers faster. I think about brand like the whole Ronald McDonald, the Clown, Place of Joy, Play Place. Like when you're a kid, you go to McDonald's, you get to go in the slides and all that fun stuff. So they did a good job of you know, finding out who their customers were and branding to them. I think they've obviously done amazing, provided lots of jobs in Canada and America and around the world.
Yeah.
Providing jobs
they have different demographics, right? In the morning with the pancakes, the hash browns, and the egg McMuffin and the coffee.
Adults,
for adults.
Right.
And in the afternoon, they'll have different type of specials. And then in the late afternoon, when the schools are out, they'll have these like $1 ice cream cones. And
what's their infamous meal called?
The Happy Meal.
The Happy Meal, yeah, the Happy Meal.
Hey, do you remember when they used to serve pizzas?
They did?
They had pepperoni pizzas and
no way.
Pizzas. Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember McRib burgers, but I don't remember pizzas.
So the McRib.
Did they serve hot dogs ever? I feel like they would have tried
hot dogs. Not hot dogs. Not hot dogs. The McRib burgers and these specialty kind of burgers, they do them for trial runs depending on what season it is.
Right.
Pizza, they had it, but because of the wait times, it would screw up the order system. And then it would have the server that already has taken the order. They got to go back and they got to find the person and walk time, just all that stuff. So they just removed it. It's cool how they just keep innovating.
Okay. Do you think in the next 5 years that McDonald's is going to keep growing and, you know, keep expanding?
I think so.
Yeah. You know what? What about 10 years? You think 10 years?
Oh, 100%. I think people are just getting lazier and lazier, and it's so cost effective. Like the McDonald's and any fast food chain, for a matter of fact, it's still so much cheaper than going to a restaurant or going out. People
anywhere else. Yeah.
Does it make sense to prepare your own food, or should we just go to a fast food restaurant and just have our food?
Right. When I really think about it, I think the next 5 years, 10 years for McDonald's are really, really good. I start thinking like 10 to 20 years. And I do think there's going to be a strong movement towards like healthier foods to increase your lifespan.
It's actually started a couple of years ago with all
exactly, like Chipotle, right? Chipotle's crushing it out of nowhere too, right? So I see this movement towards like health conscious. So either, I would imagine a company like McDonald's will figure out the health conscious consumer and switch their products for them. But even Chick-fil-A, like Chick-fil-A tends to use like grilled chicken and just higher quality stuff. So yeah, I think the next 5-10 years for McDonald's looks really good. Beyond that, if they pivot, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah. I think
we'll
most fast food joints are going to be fine.
Yeah. A lot of history with McDonald's, and they've done
It's just people want stuff grab and go. We're not cooking meals like we do.
For sure. Or maybe they just take what they're doing and just improve the quality.
Yeah. Do you think there would be ever a big collaboration with McDonald's? They'll buy a different franchise, like a different, like huge.
These companies always buy companies, right? Like, McDonald's is known. I don't know if they bought another restaurant, but they've bought like technology companies to streamline their whole process. Like, I don't know, can't remember what it was, but yeah, they've bought other companies before. Will they buy another restaurant? Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I think Burger King bought Tim Hortons, right?
It was Burger King that bought it?
I'm pretty sure it was Burger King that bought Tim Hortons.
I know it was American that came to Canada and was like,
I think it was Burger King.
Was it?
Yeah. So Burger King bought Tim Hortons. So yeah, I see. I don't know which company they would buy, but I think it's possible for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think there's a single Canadian brand that's actually Canadian anymore.
Oh, no, I don't think so either. Banks, maybe? Banks? RBC is Canadian. No.
Those are, but we're not. Yeah. That's boring though.
Those are government organizations. Those are government companies.
Yeah, we can't say much about those, man. They're getting bailed out all the time by the government too.
Oh man, just dissing RBC and TD. Actually, I think TD is American, if I'm not mistaken.
Toronto Dominion
Bank. I think they got bought out, man. I really do think they got bought out. I can't remember though.
I don't know this. I feel like I need to know this.
You should know this because you're in the real estate space. So
I'm just so busy looking at inflation and interest rates.
Yeah, right now it seems like everyone's preoccupied there. Everyone's preoccupied with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think I'm gonna get some McDonald's today. Celebrate George.
What happened to
celebrate the legacy of George?
What happened to your calories and macros? Hey, remember my muscle?
Starved myself, huh?
Hey, you need to have a pronta. Like you're fine. Don't worry about your abs. Just have this one pronta and you'll be fine.
You're mussy?
Yeah. That was the best.
Yeah. You know when we were talking, because she's like, you were like, oh yeah, the girls. I'm like, bro, girls don't look at abs. Guys do.
No,
other guys would be like, nice abs. Other girls would be like, we don't care.
I was saying, dude, eat your heart out, man. It's all because I'm that type of way where I'll just eat whatever I want. It's hard for me to gain weight. And you're like, I'm on this diet, man. All the macros.
Yeah.
Masi's like, yo, macros, man. Put that in the garbage.
It's so nice. She liked
the full pronta. And it was such a good pronta too. All right.
Yeah, that was good. She was so nice. Yeah, she's so nice.
Cool. What else we got?
We took selfies and everything. I think that's it, man. I think that's it for this week. I got nothing else to share. You got anything else you want to touch on?
No. I mean, I'll probably talk off air about the podcast.
Yeah, we got a guest next week. Are we allowed to say the guest?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, go for it.
It's the Wrestling Classics. Ooh-ah. I'm excited for that, man. I don't know what kind of memorabilia he's going to bring, if he's going to bring us any belts, or if he's going to bring like who was that? There was Owen Hart, and who's the other Hart brother?
Bret Hart,
man. If you bring us the Bret Hart jacket, the one that was all pink.
Right. Guys, okay, so real quickly, so Wrestling Classic, we're gonna have them next week. I don't know the exact date yet, but we're working it out. In the comments below, if you made it this far into the video, you're a GOAT. We appreciate you listening this deep into this video. In the comments below, leave a comment who your favorite wrestler of all time is. Your favorite wrestler of all time. We're gonna share ours. Karn, who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Oh, it's got to be 316 Stone Cold Steve Austin all day long. I don't know why. He was just such a badass.
Yeah. He was a tough one, man. I liked a lot of wrestlers, man.
I feel like he was the only one that wasn't playing a character.
Yeah, actually, he was on, I think Stone Cold was on Wrestling Classics podcast, right?
He was. Well, Justin's interviewed and so many different people, right? It's quite interesting.
He's gonna be a really interesting guest to have, actually.
Yeah. Who's yours?
Who's my favorite? Man, I think I went through like phases. Like I liked Rey Mysterio. I liked Rey Mysterio for some period of time. I liked The Rock, of course.
Yeah.
I like John Cena.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I like Triple H for a short period, but he was always kind of the bad guy. So there was a time where he was the good guy.
Yeah.
When they were beefing with like Batista and Randy Orton and all those guys.
There's always these different eras, like Stone Cold and Vince McMahon and Triple H, and I know the Rock, and who's Rock's biggest beef? Was it Randy Orton or was it Triple H?
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was Randy Orton. I don't think it was.
And then there was
Triple H
Undertaker
either.
and the Kane.
Oh yeah, the Kane. There's just so much, man.
I
That's
don't
crazy.
watch it now, but I do remember
movies.
I remember Wolfpack, NWO.
Right. We had Shawn Michaels with the kick.
Yeah. The freaking Degeneration X.
Degeneration X. Rob Van Dam. You remember Rob Van Dam?
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah. He was just
remember,
like a
recipes. You remember Eddie Guerrero?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You remember Chris Benoit? We had Kurt Angle.
There was Goldust. Goldust was just
you suck.
Yeah.
You suck. Every time he would come in, everyone was just like booing him.
Who was that lumberjack guy that would just carry like a 2x4? He would stomp in and then he would get punched in the face once and he would just stomp right back out. And that was his entire kind of MO.
That was what he did?
That's all he did.
Lumberjack guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sheamus? No, Sheamus is more recent, I think.
No, there was
you remember Mick Foley?
He was the one with
you remember the guy who would put on a sock?
Yeah, that was Mick Foley, I think.
Mick Foley, right? He had another name too. I can't remember his other name, but yeah, Mick Foley.
He had a couple different personas.
Yeah.
Undertaker was
Mankind.
cool.
I think it was Mankind.
Mankind.
Man, we're gonna be here for another hour talking about wrestling. But yeah, no, I think we should save this for the next podcast. But yeah, guys, if whoever your favorite wrestler is, leave it in the comment. Is there anything else you want to say, or can I wrap it up?
No, wrap it up, man. Bring it home.
Yeah, so yeah, leave your favorite wrestler in the comment. Guys, if you made it this far and you're liking this week by week live video that we're doing, if you want us to keep doing it, you gotta tell us. You gotta like the video, subscribe to our channel. You gotta support us. We're not asking for money. I mean, if you want to give me money, you can, but no, we just
lights in the background.
We just want your support. I think the likes is more for engagement, because the more you engage, the more it spreads and other people talk about it. We do this because we actually enjoy it. Like, I would probably do it even if you didn't like it. So it doesn't really matter. I'll still make these. If you don't like it, I'll still make these. But, I think if you do like it, like, show us some love. DM us. Why do you got to wait till you see me in person to tell me you like my content? Why people seem like, dude, I love your video. I'm like, you never commented, you never liked it,
you never said anything.
Subscribe.
And he said, and they're specifically, they talk about different moments within.
They're like full on watching. Like, as someone that like talked about 3-4 different videos, I'm like, at least hit a goddamn subscribe.
Yeah. Or just like message me and be like, hey, this was good, maybe this was bad. I'm okay.
That too.
Altar.
That too. Feedback always helps for sure.
Feedback is great. I'll thrive on that, man, all day long.
Right.
Cool. Rahul.
All right. It's a wrap.
I'll see you in
the next one. Peace.
Sir.